Alrighty guys, we're going to do a video on how to recoil control. I see a lot of people asking me questions about how I control my gun so good. I also see a lot of people telling me that I have Cronus Max when I actually don't. And the reason why is because they actually don't know how to recoil control, or they don't know how to effectively recoil control, and there's a few reasons why. And I do understand why they think that a lot of us streamers are using Cronus Max, because either the equipment they're using or the weapon they're using doesn't actually allow them to be as accurate as they can be. And I'm hoping this video can actually help you guys understand that, or even just help you guys get better at, get better at the game, or improve your weapons handling. That's the reason for this video. So to begin, I do want to state that there is some equipment requirements. Just going to go into my list. There's some equipment requirements that you need to actually effectively recoil control. So what I mean by equipment requirements, I mean real world equipment requirements. So I'm going to switch my scene over to my PC scene so I can type them in so you guys can actually, let me see, yeah. So you guys can actually see what you need, and you can hopefully take a print screen of it to actually recoil control properly. So what you're going to need is a monitor. You can be on PS4, so you can be on PS4, or even, PS4 or even PC. This applies to PS4 and PC. So you need a monitor, and the monitor that you need, the requirements for the monitor include 60 frames per second or anything above, not below. So if you're on a TV screen or a plasma screen or LCD screen and it's big, it's in your lounge room, or if you have a plasma screen, whatever it is, in your bedroom, it's just not good enough. There is game modes on these TVs and these plasma screens. You can switch them over to game mode, and pretty much any TV made after 2015 have game modes, from what I understand. And this essentially just increases the frames per second of the TV at a cost of quality or picture quality. But overall, you are better off getting a monitor, because there's a lot more things in the monitor that can actually help a lot more than game mode would possibly. So this would include better colors, you can see in dark corners, and in addition to that, you are maintaining a stock standard 60 frames per second no matter what, even if the situations that you're involved in are high intensity, so they lower down the frames per second. And in addition to that, you have milliseconds of response. So what I mean by milliseconds of response, whatever inputs you put on your controller, or whatever inputs are happening on this, through the device that you're playing on, they all come onto the screen within 1 millisecond. So if it's 4 milliseconds, that means the information is 4 milliseconds delayed, and your inputs and other people's inputs are coming to you on the screen 4 milliseconds delayed. So put that into perspective, you want 60 frames per second or anything above, and in addition to that, you need 1 milliseconds response time for your monitor. Okay, this is a guarantee that you need this for proper recoil control. And the reason why is when you fire your weapon, switch over to this, when you fire your weapon, your gun actually goes up, okay, and that is actually, like, that's real time, it's instant. You're missing, if you are 4 milliseconds delayed in response time, that means that you're going to, as soon as you fire the weapon, that weapon will be responding within 4 milliseconds delay. And then you'll be pulling down to recoil control on the analog stick or on your mouse. You'll be pulling down, and the issue with that is between the delay of your inputs and the delay of whatever's on screen and the weapon firing up and down through the recoil, or left and right, you get this sort of complete mumbo jumbo when it comes to recoil control. It just gets out of whack. I've tried it. I actually cannot recoil control on a TV or plasma or LCD screen. I just can't do it. I can do it a lot more efficiently, a a lot more properly on a monitor. 60 frames per second, 1 millisecond response time, because everything is instantaneous. It is real time, or the best it can be real time anyway. So let me just see what we have here. So 60 frames per second, 1 minute response time, and you're gonna need, let's see, switch over to my PC scene. You're gonna need a controller. So this can be a PS4 controller, or an Xbox controller, or a PS5 controller, or a Xbox One, whatever it is. I'm not too sure what the name is for the new Xbox, but it can be any of those controllers. The reason why you need a controller is because of Aim Assist. So Aim Assist is there designed to help, is there and designed to help PlayStation players or Xbox players compete against PC players. So PC players have high movement, they have extreme mobility, they have like probably the most efficient mobility. They have a keyboard, they have to press a few buttons, they can dash left and right, front and back, they can move their mouse at 1,000 kilometers per hour, and it's all well and good for them. But what they don't have is aiming stability. That's what controllers have. So controllers are a lot slower. We're not exactly as accurate and pinpoint with our inputs on the controller. That's why we have Aim Assist. So it helps us actually stabilize our weapon when engaged. So having a PS4 controller will actually increase your, in my opinion anyway, and in my experience with the game, it will actually increase your accuracy because of the Aim Assist. But in terms of mobility, you will get a lot more mobility on PC. So those are the trade-offs when it comes to Aim Assist and on controller and mouse and keyboard. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples of what you should be doing. Sorry, that's the wrong one. PS4 scene. So we're going to enter Plunder Trios. So the weapon we're going to be using is the M4A1. We'll be testing other weapons like the Grau. I'll build that up now actually. Alright, the Grau's built, and we'll try the Kilo next. Okay, so we're just going to do some training here, and I'm going to show you guys how to better your recoil control in situations. Let's try to get into a game now. So ideally, if you're looking to improve your recoil, besides getting a monitor, you want to train with your weapon. You need the right attachments to train and become more efficient with your weapon. So we've chosen the M4A1. I'll show you why the M4A1, in my opinion, is the best when it comes to recoil control. And then we'll be moving into the other weapons, the other 5.56s. So just an example. So if I don't touch the controller with this button here, on the right analog stick, M4A1 will just shoot up and go right diagonally. But if I actually handle the controller and I just pull down on the analog stick, oh, this guy just landed on me. If I pull down on the analog stick, I can actually control the recoil and stop it from flying upwards. So I'll give you an example. And there it is there. So it didn't go all the way up in the sky, I actually pulled down on the controller. It's pretty inaccurate, but it's a lot better than ending up in the sky. Let's do it again.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Warm up
And there it is there.
Time to kick this off.
Alright, we're going to land at Dam.
plunder. The job's simple. Secure more cash than the enemy. Alright, soldier. Mark a drop point for your team.
I'm just gonna fly over here. Just skip through this as I'm trying to land. Just taking its time. Alright, just gonna run over there. Alrighty. I'll put a bullseye on.
Moving.
I've forgotten how to paint.
Primary LZs are marked.
How do you
Extract
paint?
standing by.
There it is. Alrighty. Actually, no, I need some more distance. Okay. Alright, so let's show an example. No recoil control. Okay, that's not me. I didn't put my hands on the controller at all. I'll go over to this side. Pulling down to the left a bit. And we'll just have a look now. So what you need to do, I'll just show you now. So on your right analog stick, you just need to pull down and to the left as it goes, so you see, then it starts going to the right. So you need to pull down and then left. Ideally you want to use the M4A1 for this, because the M4A1 actually has very consistent speed when it goes up. So it goes up in the same speed. When you pull the trigger, it just keeps going up in the same speed and off to the right. Which means all you need to do is pull down at the same speed also. So what happens is, as it pulls up, you're pulling down, and you start staying in the middle, just shooting in the middle. You know what I'm saying? With the Grau and Kilo, the Kilo you don't need to pull down as much. The Kilo automatically has its own pulling down when it comes to recoil control. The Kilo is actually very accurate. The Grau, on the other hand, the Grau is a bit harder to use because it does some weird things, like it's got slow rate of fire, so it's a bit more jarring when it comes to that. But with the M4A1, because it's so consistent, when it comes to its recoil control, you can actually control that recoil consistently also. So I'm only pulling down on the controller by 5% on the right analog stick, just by 5%. 5% to the bottom left. That's all I'm doing. Really don't need much. Try the Grau now. Just drop my ammunition here. And I'll land back in. We'll try the Grau.
I'm back online.
Yeah, so the Grau's a bit of a weird one. It doesn't have initial recoil like the like initial recoil jump like the M4A1, but it's I don't know how to explain it. I'll try C now. Yeah, see, I control it a lot less efficiently than the M4. Oh, I need to see the recoil pattern. Hold on. And I advise that you guys do that too. Just check the recoil pattern. Okay, it's just up. So same thing with the Grau, you just pull down by 5%. Maybe a bit to the left because it looks like it's going right again. You see it here, it's going right. And maybe a bit to the left, bottom left. With your recoil control, just a bit. I'll show you now, actually. Just down. I'll show you on the controller. There it is, just a bit down, just a bit. Not too much, just a bit. Like this is how much I'm moving it down. In reality. I'll show you my settings. These are it here. Alright. I'll show you guys why aim assist is important. We'll try to land on someone. We'll try to shoot him. And I'll show you how the aim assist is kicking in.
I'm back in line.
Alright, this guy's actually jumped out of the vehicle. So in that situation, the aim assist kicked in. It kept the controller down. It kept the crosshair down on the person, so it didn't pull up so hard. So at certain ranges, at closer ranges, your aim assist kicks in a lot stronger, and then at medium ranges, it's a lot less strong, and then longer ranges, it kicks in, let's say, 5% strength. And there's a few ways to maximize the aim assist at long range, and I'll explain it to you in a second. Just need to find someone. She'll land up here.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Alright, so here it is. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw in that situation, but the aim assist was actually kicking in. Someone's sniping me. The aim assist was actually kicking in, and the reason why I could tell is because even though it was jumping up, it was still like pulling itself down. It was trying to like magnetize itself to the enemy player, and that's what aim assist feels like. It's like a magnet towards the player. So what you'll see, let's say if this person here is the enemy player, say you're trying to recoil control, it actually magnetize itself like that. Say your controller's pulling this way, it will actually pull itself closer to the enemy. It will actually pull itself like, let's say 5%, it will do it for you, 5% pulling towards the enemy. And that's really important when it comes to long range fighting, because it's really hard to actually hit people that are long range. It's really hard to hit people long range. So let's say, but because it's only 5% of 5% of that like aim assist, you do need to, like, let's say move left and right to sort of somehow scan the aim assist onto the person. So what I would be doing is moving left and right to sort of get that magnetizing to get onto the person, the enemy player. So if I stand still though, the recoil control is just going to do its own thing. The recoil is just going to do its own thing. I can recoil control, I can put it back on the target, but the aim assist, as the person's moving around left and right, I need to actually do the same so I can actually get the aim assist onto the enemy. This is something people don't really know. So you can really maximize your chances of killing someone with aim assist. Alright, so I've got a few other topics to discuss. Okay, so another thing that you need to focus on when it comes to the monitors is that it's either 24-inch or 27-inch, somewhere in between there. I'll switch over to my PC again. It needs to be 24-inch or 27-inch. So 24-inch or 27-inch or somewhere in between there. So these settings, these attributes that I have for the monitor right now are actually competition grade. Like this is all here. These components here, these equipment components are all competition grade. You can actually find a monitor like this for $200 Australian. I've actually purchased one the other day on Facebook Market secondhand, and I paid only $70 for it. But I use that as my secondary monitor. So I have a competition grade monitor for my stream, not for my actual gaming, and I only paid $70 for it. So you can actually find them for cheap. They're not actually that expensive. You just need to purchase them, really. So it's really important that you get a really good monitor. Okay, and also we discussed aim assist. So at close range, close to mid range, with the right attachments, being longest barrel monolithic Commando foregrip, 50 or 60 rounds VLK scope. At close to mid range, your aim assist is the strongest. So aim assist is strongest. Okay. At long range, aim assist is watered down. Actually, no, watered down is the wrong language. Is less intense, and so what you have is, let's say you get 5 to 10% aim assist at long range. So this would mean you should scan the enemy as you're shooting the enemy, move left and right, so that the aim assist, as you're recoil controlling, what you get is the aim assist is, say the person's here, the aim assist will somehow lock on for a little bit, and and as at the same time you're dodging the enemy. So locking on. When you don't do that, and your recoil control is doing its own thing, and the enemy's moving side to side as you're trying to control it, there's this sort of like issue where you're both S-ing around, like S-ing. You're not really gluing your aim onto the person. So I would advise move your player straight left and right as you're trying to shoot someone, and and also recoil control to maximize the aim assist at long range. So the long range would be anywhere from 100 meters, 150 meters, and all the way up. Okay, so now attachments. Let's see. Attachments. Here we go. So, attachments you need to maximize your recoil control would be longest barrel, and what I mean by longest barrel is the barrel with the maximum damage range and bullet velocity. So maximum damage range and bullet velocity. Okay, longest barrel, Commando foregrip, and you've got, let me just have a look, VLK 3 times, optic, and then 50 to 60 rounds. Okay, so the reason why you have the VLK optic is because the VLK optic actually increases your recoil control for both horizontal and vertical recoil control by 10% on both sides. So vertical recoil control. Okay, my spelling is really off there. Control. And horizontal vertical control, let's do 10% there. Boost horizontal recoil control boost 10% at a total of 20% extra just for the VLK scope. So the VLK scope actually improves recoil control. So it's important that you use these specific attachments for these weapons. I would advise to use the M4A1 because of that consistency in the recoil, and it is a very aggressive weapon. But for people that don't have much experience with these weapons, then I would advise then go to the Grau. And if it's not the Grau, then the Kilo. The Kilo's just gotten a nerf recently. But there's really not much recoil control going with the Kilo because the Kilo actually pulls itself down. You don't have to do the pulling down, it pulls itself down. That's the way the Kilo is. And I'll show you the build you need to do for the Kilo. If you have no experience, longest barrel. No experience whatsoever with the recoil control, then the Kilo would be the one you want to choose. The reason why is because, let me switch my screen over. This is the weapon you want to use, and the reason why is because it actually pulls itself down. You don't have to do any of the pulling down on your controller, it does it itself. This weapon actually does it on its own. The only problem is that it is not as strong as the Grau or the M4A1. So you just need to pay attention to that. So if you're looking at it, you get the trade-off of less damage or more accuracy, and that is in terms of most weapons on Modern Warfare. If you want more damage, you get less accuracy. If you want more accuracy, you get less damage. So that's the way a lot of these weapons in Modern Warfare work, and even in real life. So yeah, so this weapon here, the Kilo, is for easy recoil control. So we'll go back over to our PC. So easiest weapon to recoil control would be Kilo long range build. Just Kilo long range build. Okay. Medium weapon for recoil control. Would be the Grau. Okay, and then hard would be M4A1. And then sort of expert level, if you're trying to long range, would be the FFAR long range build. So that's expert level because the actual FAR has extreme and violent recoil. It actually has very, very extreme and violent recoil. It's actually very, very hard to control. Yeah, you got other weapons like the AMAX. You have other weapons like the AMAX. AMAX is pretty good. I just don't use the AMAX because switch my scene over. I just don't use the AMAX because it's like, how could you say? It's just a bit too slow. The movement's too slow. You got a lot more movement with the M4A1 and the Grau and the Kilo. You got a lot more movement, and the aim down sight speed is a lot better than the AMAX. But the AMAX is a lot more stronger, so you do get that trade-off. So you get handling, loss of handling for strength in the weapon, and damage, and that doesn't appeal to me. But then with the 5.56s and the M4A1, you get more mobility at the cost of damage. But the M4A1 is a good, let's say, medium between high damage and low damage, because it has such a high fire rate and base damage is decent, very decent. You get what you need from a weapon. Another weapon we should be discussing is the the Ram 7. Where is it? Ram 7. So the Ram 7 is a highly mobile weapon. very, very mobile weapon. Your build you're looking for is the same, longest barrel. Here we go. Commander foregrip, 50 rounds. And VLK. That's the weapon you're looking for long range. This is more of a medium range weapon. It doesn't hit targets as efficiently as possible when it comes to the longest range, and the reason why is because its high fire rate. Because its high fire rate is so high, and its damage profile is pretty decent. It is actually harder to kill people at longer ranges, but medium range and close range, it is actually a very, very strong weapon. I haven't really experimented much with it, but from what I understand, the recoil control on the RM7 goes left and right rather than up and down as most weapons. I personally can't handle recoil control that goes left and right because I actually can't turn left and right when I'm trying to, like in time, really, left and right, because that's two controller inputs I have to make when trying to recoil control, whereas pulling down is just one and it's stable, it just sits like that. So one and stable rather than left and right, left and right. And that's what the RM7 does, and I think it's a lot less efficient when you're trying to handle a weapon and doing two inputs in a gunfight while getting hit by bullets when compared to the M4A1 or Grau or Kilo, which is just one input, which is either down or only a little bit down or not even touching the controller at all. Okay, so there's another, I think there's some more we need to discuss for recoil control. No, there is more we should be discussing. I think we've finished here now. Okay, so just to run it through again, the monitor you need, 60 frames per second or anything above with 1 millisecond response time. Controller you need is PS4, Xbox, PS5 controller, or Xbox, the newest Xbox controller, and a 24 to 27 inch. So anywhere around there. In size, that's the equipment you need to properly recoil control. Reason why is because the information is accurate that you're receiving towards your eyes. It's accurate, it's instantaneous, and it's real world. It is there and then. As your weapon fires, you can recoil control at the same time. So that's very important that you do that. That you get that equipment to actually efficiently recoil control. You can't really do it efficiently on plasma TVs or LCD TVs that are meant for lounge rooms. Aim assist, capitalize on your aim assist. At close to mid range, aim assist is your strongest, and then at long range, aim assist is less intense. 5 to 10% it's active. So as you're shooting at someone, your gun is moving left and right through the recoil. You've got it full auto. You want to be strafing left and right and trying to scan that aim assist on the person as you're shooting. Really want to scan the aim assist, the reticle. Really try to hit that person, scan it on him, and try to get that magnetization, that aim assist magnet onto the enemy. Aim assist in controllers applies for console and PC, so long as PC is on controller. So the attachments you need, the longest barrel, maximum damage range, and bullet velocity. Bullet velocity is important. Commando foregrip, 50 to 60 rounds. You also need monolithic suppressor. I haven't covered that yet. Monolithic suppressor. Monolithic suppressor. Monolithic suppressor increases the damage and the 10% bullet velocity. Bullet velocity is how quick the bullets travel through the air. So the bullets are actually hitting the enemy in real time. So longest barrel, commando foregrip, VLK, horizontal, recoil and vertical control, recoil boosts are coming with that VLK. You got 50 to 60 rounds and monolithic suppressor for the 10% extra bullet velocity. So you need that on your weapons, on your assault rifles for longest range. Easiest weapon to recoil control in my opinion is the Kilo long range build. Then the medium weapon is the Grau. The hardest weapon is the M4A1, and then the expert level is FFAR long range build. Between the hardest and the expert level you have the AMAX. It's a bit harder to control than the M4A1 and a lot less harder to control than the FFAR. But not really going to cover the AMAX because I personally don't use it. I like my weapons with high fire rate. And that would be the end of the video for recoil control. Just remember to pull down on your controller. Pull down as you're firing. Pull the trigger, pull down on the vertical, on the analog stick. Alright guys, well that's the end of the video. for now, we'll be making some more videos in the future. We'll be moving into how to obtain a win on Warzone. So we'll end it there, and we'll go back into streaming later on, and that'll be it, guys. So thank you very much. I'll see you guys later.